All right, I'm going to leave you with a story or two. We're going to take a couple questions, and I'm going to leave you with one more story. This is one of my all-time favorites. Anybody know what this picture represents? Let's hear it. Say it again. I don't think so. Good thing I'm going to have to look that one up. Anybody else got an idea? It's the Great Chicago Fire. The Great Chicago Fire occurred in the 1800s, and what happened was the fire just burned downtown. 90,000 acres were ruined. People were displaced, and what this picture represents is everybody running across the bridge trying to get out of downtown Chicago. This man's name was Horatio Spafford. He was a lawyer, and he was a very successful lawyer and had invested in lots and lots of real estate. These pictures I'm getting ready to show you are from the National Archives. Here, in fact, is his business card from the National Archives. He was on LaSalle Street in Chicago, which was a very impressive place. He was married to a woman named Anna. They had 4 beautiful children, all girls. They had had one son. He had died, unfortunately, the year before of cholera. And the Great Chicago Fire occurred, and he lost almost everything. Almost everything. And he decided that he would go on a trip to Europe with his family to get away, because in fact his wife had stayed back too long helping people who were being burned out from the fire. She took a ship, that ship and the 4 girls, to Europe, but Horatio couldn't go because something stayed back. He had work that he had to do. But unfortunately, when the ship almost got to Wales, it was struck by a schooner, another ship, and it sank within 17 minutes. The 4 daughters drowned. The 4 daughters drowned. The mother was found floating on a piece of flotsam. Somebody found her and saved her. And here is the telegram that she sent back to her husband. And here's what it said. "Saved alone, what shall I do?" When her husband got that, he took the first boat that he could get back to Europe. And when they were going to go across the place where the ship went down, the captain called him to the bridge and said, "Mr. Spafford, this is where the ship went down. This is where your children died." And Mr. Spafford went down to his room and took out a piece of paper, this piece of paper, which was a piece of hotel stationery from Chicago, and he wrote a poem on it. And one of the verses on this poem is this, and I'm interested to know if any of you have heard this. "When peace like a river attendeth my way, when sorrows like sea billows roll, whatever my lot thou hast taught me to say, it is well with my soul." Horatio Spafford went back to his room and wrote that would eventually become one of the best-known hymns of all times. He went and he got his wife Anna, and they eventually moved to Jerusalem and started a place that ended up being a hospitality house for people of all nations. It didn't make any difference if you were Christian or if you were Muslim or if you were Jewish or if you were nothing. You were welcome there. And they started this huge hotel, and it eventually became the scene of many peace talks. And to this day, 100 years later, it's continuing to serve people. More than 30,000 people a year are served food to the poor, medicine to the poor, as a result of what they did with that tragedy. There are a lot of things in lives where people go, "Oh, well, I wish I'd win the Olympics. I wish I would win this. I would wish I would win other things. I wish I would win Miss America." But the truth is, none of us can remember those people after a while. What we do remember, however, are the people that made a difference to us. I'll bet you everybody in here has a teacher that made a difference to them. Anybody remember a teacher that really did something for your life? All right, everybody stand up. We're going to do a quick exercise. All right, you got to work with me here. Okay, you ready? Watch me first. This is what we're going to do. You're going to point your index finger of your right hand straight forward, so to the back of the curtain there. Now, watch me first, and then I'll tell you what to do, okay? You're going to twist all the way around to the right as far as you can go, and you're going to remember the point where you go, and then you're going to come back forward. You got it? All right, on 3. 1, 2, 3. Turn, 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 turn. Go as far as you can. Remember your point. Remember your point and come back to the front. All right, now put your finger down. Everybody remember your point? Okay, now close your eyes. Now I want you to do the exact same thing, but I don't want you to move. I want you to do it in your head. All right, so think about pointing your finger to the front. Think about going as far as you can. See yourself doing that. See yourself going past the point that you went the first time. Farther, farther, farther. And think about coming back to the front. Everybody see it in your mind? All right, let's try it again, and let's see how far you go. All right, on 3, 1, 2, 3, go. How many people went farther than you did the first time? All right, have a seat. Friends, it used to be called the positive power of thinking. Now every Olympic athlete trains that way. They imagine in their mind, they visualize, they see what they want to accomplish, and it means great things. For me, it is important to fight when something is being done wrong to somebody. If a wrong is being done, if they're not being treated fairly, I think you need to do something about it. And this is one of my favorite sayings from Nelson Mandela. He said to be neutral in a situation of injustice is to have chosen sides already. It is to support the status quo. So if you see the great big guy picking on the little guy and you do nothing, you've made a choice. You've made a choice to side with the big bully. And the rest of this quote says this: it is to have chosen the side of the oppressor. If an elephant has its foot on the tail of a mouse and you announce that you're neutral, the mouse will not appreciate your neutrality.